record on this computer. So anyways, but the thing is, you guys, is that it's such a game changer. And this is the thing, is I sat and I refuse to not speak up and tell you guys to move your freaking feet during this time. Okay. Like, I get being discouraged. I get having a heavy plate. I get all those things. And we're going to talk about how we're going to really, like, you know how you have to try really hard to be consistent? When you know a lot of things about this business and a lot of different things that you can offer, you also have to work really hard at keeping things simple. Okay. And that's a part of leadership. And I'm just going to kind of give you some tips on that, because I feel like that's what I keep hearing over and over, is like, it's almost like that scared for success. And that sounds so silly. But when you really start talking to people, that is what it is. Like, they want to be here and they'll put the work in, but they're scared that they're not going to be enough to do what they need to for a diamond team, or to do what they need to for a double diamond team. But gosh dang it, that double diamond check would just help them so much, right? Here's the thing, you got to break it down. And I'm going to teach you how I've done that for so long. And honestly, I think as so many things and technological things are available to us, we do tend to overcomplicate things, right? And there's times, like, even you guys, I hear people be like, we need Zooms for this, we need Zooms for that. And I'm like, but why? Like, I want to know what you need from me. Because I'm like, that was just spoken on, Monday night's call, or that was just done on this or that. There's no reason, right, for us to kind of say the same thing over and over and over and over again. Now, if you want to, like, go through some of these things or have me walk you through some of these things, 100%. But sometimes you just feel like you're, like, so redundant, right? So anyways, I just want you to know that this is it's a huge season for you as a leader, okay? And as a mover and as a shaker. And even if you're looking at me and you're like, well, Sarah, I actually don't even have a lot of people on my team doing crap. Guess what? This is your time to focus on you. That's the cool thing. And honestly, I can tell you that when I was in that moment in November or October, when that person had quit, and all of a sudden I just, like, had this huge aha moment come my December check, I was like, you know what? I can focus on me. For all this time that I wanted to sit and read a freaking book so that I could learn a few more things or be more confident in a certain area, like, I have the time and I'm sitting here not using it. Like, what am I doing? So the thing is, and it's funny, as you start focusing on you and you start understanding, like, your actions is what leads louder than absolutely anything, you will realize people start following you. You will realize the right people are going to start coming to you. Okay. So that's the thing. I did that, and I will never forget it. Like, it was that moment that I was 100% 2 feet in, and I'm like, girl, success is not a straight line. Like, it's just not. And at this point, you can decide to move on, and you're going to know that going triple diamond is going to be hard, and you've, coasted. So it's probably, you're going to have to gain some momentum back, but you can make this decision today to move, because you know what you're sitting on. You've heard multiple stories. You've literally blew your own expectations out of the water, which so many of you guys did. Like, I know what your original goals were. If you've done it once, you can do it again. Like, stop telling yourself you can't. That's so silly, And so here's the thing. Just know that if you feel like you don't have people to run with, first of all, use what's coming to you right now with the 50% off and get freaking new people. Like, stop being scared of bringing new people into this business. Just because Felicia over there freaking quit, or Stephanie quit and she said she was going to go diamond or whatever it is, it doesn't mean that Monica, who's coming in and is like, I'm so scared, like, I'm timid, like, I've never done this, I only have 100 followers. That does not mean that she cannot go Ruby in 30 days. Or just because you didn't go Ruby in 30 days, it does not mean that you cannot claim Ruby for her in 30 days. Like, guide her to freaking Ruby. Get her going. Unlock her network with her. Show her how to grow her network. And so I think we become very timid in teaching the basics, right? So again, it's like we're overcomplicating it because we think they should come in with this grand vision. You guys, they don't. They don't. I did not have a 10 stamped on my forehead. Like, I wasn't even somebody that they thought would join. I hated public speaking. I am the worst IT person. Erica knows. You guys, I figure it out, but I figure it out the 30-step way. And then she'll be like, oh, you actually have to do 2 steps. And I'm like, God dang it. I mean, I am like a honey badger in, like, I will get it, but I do not know. Like, I am not savvy, So here's the thing. we're going to change some things up. And with seasons, things change. So we have been doing Hive Huddle. And honestly, you guys, I absolutely love it. And I think one thing with leadership is that you do have to find something where you are going to be consistent with it and find your strength. Like, first, work within your strength. So if your strength is creating, or you're good with words and you can help with some posts and then have people fill in, like, to where they can personalize it, start providing it. Provide it in the chats. Provide it. I mean, shoot, I'm going to just tell you, like, if you have something good, I'm going to be like, can you please go post that on the team page? Can you please go do this? You know what? I'm doing that because you're leading, but you're leading silently. We need to lead out loud. Okay. And you have it. And I promise you, if I see something and I'm like, hey, that's way wrong, I'll just be like, hey, we just got to edit a few things. Like, but I want you to keep your freaking post up. But the thing is, you guys, if you want your team to come to you and you want them to follow you, you have to lead in front and you have to lead out loud. You have to give them something to be following. Okay. So yes, you can lead by example, but you should be in the team page. You guys, again, it is not a rank. You have time, you have experience, you've been to events, you've been on Zooms, you've created a vision, you've started creating grit. Like, you have these things that you didn't have when you started. Stop undermining those things. You may have needed those things to go diamond or double diamond, right? And now you're not even using them because you're like, well, I didn't hit it in the time, or I didn't get my bonus, or I didn't get this. It doesn't matter. Okay. So for all of us, like, I've gone ambassador once. It's going to go 2.0. It hands down is. And I loved what somebody said today. And I'm going to give you actually some bullet points at the end of this. And it was so funny because I had already figured that we were doing this tonight, and I had talked to the girls about other things and just the Hive Huddle and all that kind of stuff. And it was so funny what this Zoom that we were on today spoke to, because it was like literally lifting up everything that we came forward with for this month that we were coming in for. So Hive Huddle, I'm going to go back to that. We're just going to push that to the side for September. And this is why. It's not because we're going to be absent. It's because we are all, right now, we are going to simplify this. Okay. So that time doesn't work for every single person right now. And that's okay. And that causes stress. We are not here to cause stress. This business is going to be fun. And yes, you do have to show up, but we can also, during a time where there's a lot on people's plates, we can show up when it is a better time for us so that we can enjoy doing it. And so it's going to look a little different. There's going to be more lives, right? The other cool thing is that we did not want to take away from what corporate was doing. So a lot of times, when we talk about even these Zooms, there's like, you might see that this person's doing this or this team's doing this or whatever, right? Again, like, get in your own lane. Comparison sucks. Like, we all know. Okay. So here's the thing. They never have asked us. They were like, please don't, schedule stuff during Sunday night calls. Please don't schedule stuff during the Monday nights. Here's the thing. Monday nights is tips from the top. And it is coming from reports that they are pulling that they can see who is enrolling. Like, here's the thing. If we have somebody, or Yvette has somebody that is killing it, or I have somebody that I'm like, dang, like, you're killing it, go on there and do a little one-on-one and do tips from the top anytime that you two can do it on our team page. But the thing is like, why are we going to like go mimic? And then this person that I heard on tips from the top, I'm going to come ask her to do the same thing on another Zoom. Like, that's not working smarter. And honestly, that's stressing people out. This is the other thing I've found. As I was where I had to be intentional with my time because of newborn, I was obviously sick afterwards, all the things, right? You guys, I had more people come to me when I was being more intentional. And it's not that I was doing less, but I was doing more behind the scenes stuff because I knew, like, okay, I'm not just going to wait for everybody to come to me. And I didn't have time to post 4 times a day. And you don't have to post 4 times a day. That's the cool thing about all this. But the thing is people started popping in my inbox and they're like, hey, I think I want to give this another chance because you're still doing an awesome job and you're still enrolling, because they can see in my stories when I put stuff. And, I'm welcoming a customer and they're like, but I can't post 6 times a day, but you don't even do that. So you have to ask yourself, is what you're doing duplicatable? Is what you're doing, are you showing somebody? Because we don't have to work all hours of the day. You guys, this is the thing. And this is why I ask you what your goal is that you just have to know where you're going You have to believe that you are worthy of that and that you can absolutely do that. And you have to see it. And then you have to do it consistently and intentionally. And I can tell you that does not take all day long, every day. It just doesn't, you guys. I didn't have that to give in the beginning. I don't have that to give now. I still have a flourishing business 8.5 years later. Okay, so I want to just tell you guys, like, we are going to try to really mainstream things. I want us, every single one of us, I've been pushing it big time. We've been pushing it. I pushed it on Diamond High today. I went in there and talked about every single month, like, these are our announcements. This is how we start the month. You guys, 4th, 5th month that they hear this, they're going to know, okay, maybe I should start printing out my steps to success. If they hear it on there and you tag them in it, and then all of a sudden, Erica, you're telling your girl and she keeps hearing it, they're going to start doing it. And if they don't, that's not your person right now. That's okay. That's okay. You know that. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing. We're going to use the Corp 30-day push. It is so awesome. Like Bree was even talking about in there. If you're not in there, it's the road to VIP. You guys, you have to answer questions, and then you have to agree to the page like rules. And I love that they actually, if I could go back and add that, I can't add that to Diamond Hive, but it's what we don't tolerate. I mean, on our page, like, there's a difference between trying to find an answer and working through something, or completely complaining and just being negative Nelly. Like, I actually have zero time for any of that, right? And it's not because things are perfect or things don't happen, but it's just in how you deal with things. And I just know one is more productive than the other, right? And that's okay. And the more you teach people that, the less that you have that in there. So if they're struggling with getting in there, that's why. They have to agree also to the like rules of the page. But we want to make sure that we are passing it down to every single person. And if you need the link, I will go put it back in, Vanessa actually put it in the chat, but I can even go put it into the movers and shakers chat as well. But I want you to get your people in there as well. Okay. Host a post. We are going to do it again. So I can collect, but honestly, if you can rally your team and have them collect, and then you guys give me the sums, that is so much easier. Okay. So what we are going to do, we did it in the movers and shakers chat. We are going to do like a fall bundle. So we will get the image and the graphic figured out. It's going to have like, it's just going to be so freaking cute is what it's going to be. So it's going to have like blanket. It's going to have a mug. We're going to do actually like a tea kettle thing. What else did we say, you guys? I put it all on there. Do you remember? Lisa said, show me the money calls, hands down my favorite. Bree's going to type it out. I can see her typing. I can already just see her eyes. So she's going to type it out. We went through, and it's going to be so cute, but I thought it would be super fun. And it's fun to change things up. And so we're going to do that, and we will collect, and then we'll get the graphic, and then we can start using that. And same thing again, you guys, I'm talking to you, so we can mainstream things, keep it very simple, keep it real on here. I like being real. And then you can bring that down to your team. But we will do the same Google form where you put in every single entry, because it's just so much easier. Otherwise, it takes us hours. And we want hundreds of entries. We want that, right? But it does take hours to do it. So that is, the Google form is like a freaking lifesaver. Oh yeah, we're doing pumpkin spice latte, or keto coffee, the K-cups, the salted caramel. We're going to do a frother. Yeah, it's like going to be so cute. So we're going to do all that. And we're not going to have the cash value option, because I'm going to get these things and then just have it ready to ship when we draw the name, okay? Bree's going to actually do the drawing for the other things, so make sure to get your stuff in for that host to post. I told you about the Hive Huddle. Yeah, and that was one of the things too, you guys, is that I think it's really important that, you know, you only need so much training. And I know people, when they don't feel adequate, or it's almost like a form of procrastination, it's like you being on a Zoom every single night, and I don't mean power hours. I mean like a Zoom being taught to, if like, that is not going to build your business. So build your business is putting 2 feet in and taking action and learning as you go, and applying what you can as you learn things and that type of thing. So again, I don't want, like, when we talk, or like our new people say we're feeling overwhelmed, you guys just ask why. Ask them why. Like, have you ever just sat and asked, instead of like having an answer to everything? This is another thing of leadership that I think I also had to learn. Sometimes I thought I had to have an answer for everything. Like, if somebody had a complaint, or they felt a certain way. Like I felt like I had to know an answer. You don't, but you do have to listen, and you just have to ask like, what, why do you think that? Or, you know, where can I help you? Or what are you struggling with? You guys, as they hear things, like, you know how to help them through it, but you have to ask questions. It's not always just having an answer. So like sometimes when I talk to my new people and I feel them kind of withdrawing, I say that. I just say, hey, I kind of feel like you came out of the gates, you were ready to rock, and I know that you're committed, but I do feel like you're a little withdrawn. Like, tell me what you're feeling right now. Like, did you have a conversation that discouraged you? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Like, what's happening, girl? Like, let's work through this. You guys, sometimes people feel like they're failing because they can't be on everything. They're not. And you know what? When I hear that over and over again, I'm like, okay, how can we just mainstream this? Because you know what, you guys, I was not on a single Zoom to go Ambassador Diamond. Like, we had Google Hangout, and I think I started using that come presidential to diamond, or presidential to ambassador. And still, you guys, the most I ever had when I would break things down was 15 people on it. Like, it was never like this. You know what I'm saying? So I think you definitely have to ask, and I really want to mainstream things, because I think people start pulling back when they feel like they can't make it to everything, or they start feeling like there's no way I can do this. And that's not what we want them to feel, because they don't have to be on everything, but they do have to be willing to learn. Instead of scrolling, you know, mindlessly, I tell them, go through the team page, go do a new unit, go learn a new product on your website. Like, shoot your questions, or gather your questions from the last 3 days and shoot them over to me. I want to answer them for you. You know, so give them something productive to do. So that's another thing, that if you ever, or you feel yourself getting stuck into that, oh, I feel like I need this, or I feel like I need that. You guys, we don't want to have people tied down every single day. And it's funny, because even today, I just saw somebody say, like, they were doing Zoom after Zoom after Zoom after Zoom, which is how the beginning of my month usually looks every single month. So I love doing our like startup for the team page. I love doing this with you guys. And then from there, I'll break down the legs. And the thing is that it is a lot in the beginning months, but like she was even saying, she goes, we stack them in one day so that we have the rest of the nights, right? And so that's what we have to do, you guys. So anyways, that's one thing. I want to make sure we're using the team page and mainstreaming things over there. So when you see somebody post something, go tag your team. Like, that's what we used to do, and it worked so good. Not to mention, it's not you having to have a conversation with somebody, but it's still showing that person that you believe in them. Go say like, hey, you know, this is what we were talking about today, or hey, here's some tips about blah, 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 whatever it is that you needed. Like, that's a good guiding way without like bulldozing over somebody. Okay. So we're not just popping on to talk. So most of the things that are on there, they're going to be very helpful for people within our team. So let's make sure that we're tagging them. And then we are going to, as a team, utilize what Corp is providing, because it is gold. It is gold. And it is stuff that we've asked for, or they've asked, what are you doing for your teams? But we want to do it corporate wide. Guess what? Erica, who works odd hours, guess what? Her team can still get stuff even while she's working, if we choose to use that stuff. That's the cool thing. So Erica shouldn't have to stress if she has a Monday night, or when I would be working Monday night, I know my team can be on the Monday night call, right? So it doesn't have to always be coming from you guys, okay? Stop wearing the weight of your team on your shoulders. It's not like that. We have so many resources, okay? So I want to make sure we're doing that. Bonuses. Let's talk about them. Ruby bonuses. If you guys, I told you already, like, don't put maybe things that you have limited on yourself onto others. We just have to know people can do it. They wouldn't have it if they didn't think people could get it. That's the cool thing. Okay. But let me tell you, Mark said from day one on, I don't even know what, it was like a VIP or something call, but he said he is doing that so that you know who your runners are. We don't know. It's not just by what they say, right? It's, you have people that come in and they're going to have this huge vision sometimes and they don't do anything. And then you have these people who come in and they're very timid and they're just going to do it for free product, and they're going to be your ambassador diamonds. Like, that's what's so crazy. So the thing is he brought this bonus out because he wants your runners to show up. You don't have to know who they are. They're going to show up. And guess what? They go for that Ruby bonus in 30 days, or they're like, yeah, help me with, I want to go to that. Like, don't be timid in telling them what it takes. Like, work with them for their 6 customers. Show them post to post. Give them one post, you know, and let them start getting those wins. Talk to them about who they want on their team and say that. Be like, you know what? you have to start thinking, making your list. And even if we don't start messaging until 5 or 6 days in, cool. But you do need people on your team to go Ruby. Say it. Don't be wishy-washy about it. Tell them, and I swear when you say it confidently, they're like, well, that's what I think I'm supposed to do. You guys, we used to say diamond in 3 months all the time because that's what was said. We just did it. We didn't freaking even know better. Like, we were like, damn, that's good. You know, like, we were just like, yeah, we're just gonna go. You know, so the thing is like, bring them in and say, you're going Ruby, and this is why. This is what you can get in weekly bonuses. This is what you can earn this extra bonus. And then on top of that, you're going to teach these 3 people to do the same thing. And you're going to go diamond and get an $8,000 bonus. Speak freaking life into them. Show them what they have. This is not a long-term vision. It's a 1-month vision and a 3-month. That's it. And it is so awesome that he's doing it. So that's why he did that, if you've ever been wondering. Every single person on here is eligible for the diamond bonus. Okay. If you have not been diamond before and it is your first time, you are eligible for the diamond bonus. Okay. So here's the thing I learned about bonuses is that I remember sitting in my first conference and bonuses were announced and I was like, oh shoot. I'm kind of far from my next promotion. Right. And you know what? You guys, if you know me, I am not like an ego girl. Like, I like to do the work. I like to work behind the scenes. I'm a quiet worker. I'm a hard worker. I like those things. I've never once felt discouraged. And here's the thing. What a leader knows and thinks, even if you feel far, you can see these bonuses and you can see on who on your team can go get those. And if you don't have people that can go get those right now, you're going to enroll 3 people while it's 50% off, and you're going to get them to Ruby. That's what you're going to do. You're going to teach them. You're going to work together. And the thing that I always tell people is, no matter where you have been, if it was like in the valley of the valleys, right? No matter where you've been, no matter how you did things before, your new people only know the Sarah of today that they joined. How freaking bomb is that? So you are not stuck. You do not have to say, this person that was discouraged, this person that was like filled with excuses because you felt overwhelmed. You don't have to say that. You can literally bring in this new person and be like, she's going to go Ruby and I'm going to help her. We're just going to break it down, and that's what we're going to do. So I want you guys to know that you can do that. The other thing is if you feel far from it, you have to find the people within your organization that can get them and are close to it. And you have zero clue if they are going to extend it. Okay? If you have no clue. So you cannot work and wait for bonuses to work, okay? You have got to build before bonuses are even here. If that's what gives you a pep in your step, I am so glad. And I want you to know, though, you cannot feel like a failure if you fall short. Because who cares? What if you miss the diamond freaking bonus, but all of a sudden they come out with the double diamond bonus next month and you're ready to go? Like, they didn't even have a double diamond bonus, and then I think I told you guys this. I missed the triple bonus. I went triple, and then they announced a bonus literally the next month. You guys, I can tell you, not an ounce of me even was sad. Like, I was so happy to grow past my like valley and be climbing up that damn mountain. Like, I was like, I don't even care. And you know what I knew? I knew that it didn't matter, that now all these people that just went Ruby and Emerald on our team, they were all going to be getting diamond bonuses. Guess what? That just makes my triple that much stronger. That just gets me that much closer to Prez. And it did. I went from triple to Prez in 6 months. No, 4. I think it was 4, actually. 4 freaking months. And it took me what felt like 10 years to go from double diamond to triple diamond. It wasn't, but it felt like it, okay? So you really have to think to yourself, who can this benefit, okay? And I'm not saying don't go for a bonus or don't go for this or don't go for that, but I want you to build smart, and I want you to still be excited about things, and I want you to not, that when you fall short of something or it comes with a bonus, that you like take yourself out of the game. Just build to build, right? One of the things was, they say like, show up based on what you want, not on what you feel. Like, holly freaking Luya. Like, really, seriously, right? That is something that's huge. So the other thing that I want to tell every single one of you is that you have got to start the month out mapping. Like, if you are not mapping, you are not serious about going anywhere for the month. You are coasting. That is 100% coasting mentality. And you can argue that to no other, but when you have been in for a certain amount of time and you don't have options, or you're having to say like, hey, where should I put this? Where should I put that? That's telling your person, or that's telling you that that person, they're not in eSuite. They're just there. Like if they land an LC here and there, you guys, that's not building intentionally. And the thing is as a mentor, as a friend, as a sister, as anything, I would never tell anybody to like go gung ho with that person. That's the hard thing. And it's because it's not fair to you. That's the thing. So every single person should be mapping. You should map your people. If they are new to mapping, you guys, I map executives, like literally executives. Like my new people, I show them like, hey, I do like 6 dashes. We get their 6 loyal customers, and then we start going on the executive map. And the way that I do it is, especially now on your phone, when you can screen, like hold down and you can do the screen record and talk, game changer. But I literally send, I mean, my girls on here that are my person enrolled, they know. Like I literally send them their maps, and I tell them where I get their numbers, how I'm getting their numbers, all that kind of stuff. By Ruby, my girls know how to map themselves. They know. And then what we do is we compare, okay? So that's the thing. And we check numbers and we do those types of things. But if you are not mapping, I can tell you guys, it's embarrassing. I can tell you there's months that even as an ambassador, when I was doing my ambassador 2.0 for a while, I wasn't mapping. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like, how? And I wanted to say like, well, how'd that work? Well, it didn't work. But let me tell you something. When I actually mapped out my 2.0, and when I wipe people off my map, and when I do this, first of all, that's cleansing. It is not, you may think like, I'm so distraught. This person that's doing nothing's quitting. Like she told me she did nothing. Like should we just back up our words a little? Like I always tell people that, like, hey, what was she doing? Like I hate when people quit. I really do. Like I am like, God, like, girl, you got to give yourself a chance, you know? But at the end of the day, I also think to myself, like, were they letting me teach them? Were they willing to learn? Like what are we losing? You know, so you really have to take a deep breath, you guys, and just like know that that's not the end of your story. That is the end of theirs currently. And it might not stay like that forever, but the only way that you are ever going to inspire them to come back is to keep going. And that's just the God honest truth. The other thing is that person that did nothing was not your lifeline. You are your own lifeline in this business. And I have had this conversation so many times when leaders would leave and they're like, nobody's working on my business or in my business. And I'm like, oh, that's weird, because like there are people, but they might not be the people that you thought in your head are working. Okay. You have to find your workers. Like you will enjoy working with them. I promise you, it feels good. So make sure that you're mapping. I always help my team. I don't care how simple their map is. I always do it. Okay. So we talked about leadership, you guys, 80-20. This is so hard for me. Okay. But this is part of that. Like, I just want you to erase some of that fear of getting a team going or like feeling less than or any of those things. Because I hear this all the time. Like, I don't know how to start somebody. How do you launch new distributors? How do you do this? First of all, we have a brand new September starters chat. Our new people should be in there. If you're enrolling somebody, you can be added in there as well. And you will watch what your new people are getting. You can provide things. So even if you feel like, okay, Sarah's got the narrative, you can provide a post sample. You can provide a tip of how you just send a loyal customer. You can provide some stories. You guys are all freaking awesome at that stuff. All of you. So we can lead together and you can give your little nuggets. And I promise you, your team's going to see it. Okay. So, but here's the thing, 80-20, you guys, 80% of your time should be spent building your business. 20% should be helping people on your team. Here's the thing, as people have been in for a long time, you should not be having to spend your time working on the basics with them. And I don't get upset about it, but I just say like, hey, so you're a year in, I don't care what rank so-and-so's at, I want them to be at their goal. That's what I want them to be. But here's the thing. Nobody should be having to tell anybody in the Movers Shakers chat to be posting daily. They shouldn't be having to tell them to share their story. Nobody should be having to tell you to be messaging or to be following up or to do those things. what our conversation should be is like, hey, what does your message look like? Hey, how did you just get your 3 DTs? Like that type of thing, right? Like, is there something that you're saying? Or can I have help with this type of thing? You know, or hey, I have a loyal customer. Where would you put them for this? These are my options. Those are the conversations that should be having had. Okay. And then knowing, you guys, that we are going to work on our business because we know how to work our business. And then a lot of that 20% should be going to new people. Okay. Helping our new people. So that is a big thing. So you guys already know I do not define leadership by rank. I just don't. I never have. I have people that are rubies that lead louder and more confidently, sometimes than even diamonds. And honestly, I welcome that with open arms. Like, everybody has their moments, everybody has their times, but that is just not me. Leadership to me is action, it's communication, and it's teamwork. And it's doing those 3 things consistently. That is what leadership is to me. It has nothing to do with any sort of rank. It just doesn't, honestly. And then the other thing with training people and bringing in new people, so we have the chat, so you're not alone, okay? And you can also see the information that I think is very imperative to be sharing. You have to know that like one system doesn't work for every single person. And I know that sucks and I know that's hard, but you'll see people receive things at different rates, and you kind of just have to back up so that you don't bulldoze certain people over. And I promise you, if people are ready for more, they will ask for it. They will start asking questions. They're like, hey, what's this? Can you help me with this? That's where you go meet them, right? And you go and do those things. So you're not alone. The other thing is I think setting expectation is so big. So if you are in the road to VIP, you guys, Amber I think it is just phenomenal. So we have our KPIs. I think those are great. The testimonies coming from that are phenomenal. You guys, you might not get them all done in one setting. They might take you a while, even the first few times. So you're going to get faster at it. You're going to get faster. I can tell you that because I was the same way. I was like, who the F gets these done in 60 minutes? Like, I was like, what is wrong with me? But you know what? I've gotten faster. And not because I'm doing it, but it's like my mindset is there and I know how I'm doing what I'm doing and where I'm going to do what I'm going to do. That's the thing. So here's the thing. You're going to get faster at those. But the thing is, with new people coming in, you guys set expectations. You have to set expectations. It cannot just be like, hey, you're here. Like, let's do this, blah, blah, blah. Like, I tell them, hey, do you have a few minutes even after they signed up? Because I'm going to get you into your eSuite. I want you to know where your website is. I want you to get the apps downloaded. Do you have a few minutes for us to go back and forth and get you set up? And if they're like, yeah, perfect. If they're like, no, I don't right this second, not a problem. I told them it took only 5 minutes to sign up. We can set up another time to do that. Okay. And so I tell them and I explain to them, like, you are going to have questions. You have to ask them because I'm not going to know if you have one. I let them know, like, I am going to be trickling in information. I'm going to show you how to be present in your stories. I'm going to give you some content for your stories. If you feel comfortable creating your own, girl, do it. If you don't need my stuff, you can store it maybe for a teammate who might need it one day, okay? So I let them know those things, but I tell them what I'm going to be doing for them, and I tell them what I expect back. I think that's so big. And the other thing is like Amber said, she was like, when I'm bringing in new people and we're talking about the business, she says, like, do you think that you would have 30 to 60 minutes a day to be able to work on your social media and to conquer some steps that we know will help you build a successful business? You guys, if they say yes, like, they already know coming in, I'm going to be doing these tasks. Like, she has tasks to show me how to build my network, how to get loyal customers, how that will get my free shopping spree, that will do these types of things. And so her exact wording is actually in the comments on the Road to VIP page from her stuff yesterday, where she was talking about it. Yes, the wording is so good. It is so good. And so I think sometimes we're very like, and it's okay. It doesn't have to be a deep conversation, you guys. And again, you do have to remember people are going to start for $200. They're starting part-time. They're starting those types of things. But it's okay for them to know that, yeah, you do have to do certain tasks to, build it and to do certain things. I think that's great for them to know. So my people, I feel like I do pretty good getting them them getting their shopping spree, honestly. And so, but I think it also has to do with setting the expectation. And I tell them, even when they go to post the first day, I say, hey, we might not get any hits for the first 3 to 5 days. if you are not a poster, neither was I. It takes a while. People are wondering where you been. Like, where's shit coming out of? You know, like, is this a scam? Did you get, you know, and I tell people all the time because people were like, oh my God, did you get hacked? Like, I was dying. I was like, did I get hacked? No. Well, I got some stuff for you. You know, and the funny thing is that, again, like, I don't know if I'm naive, but like, I just think I don't know. I didn't even play dumb, but I didn't even take it negatively. Like where some people do, I was like, no, I didn't get hacked, but guess what I'm doing? Like, you know, and it worked well. So I let people know those things. And I say, hey, while I get them started in host, I'm like, not every conversation is going to turn into a loyal customer. But I promise you, as you continue to post, one of these conversations will turn into a DT probably 2 to 3 months down the road. One of these conversations, this chick's going to be coming back because she's going to hate her, you know, that she maybe has the Thanksgiving 5 added on to the COVID or whatever, the quarantine 15. She's going to be like, you know what? I can't wait through Christmas or wait for the new year. Like, I need this stuff now, you know? So I let them know those things. And you know what? I feel like the level of discouragement it's a lot less because I tell them it's okay to feel this way, or this is what to expect, or this happens to me sometimes. Or I tell people like, hey, you know, I know that you have a lot going on. Usually you can see if people have a lot going on. Or maybe they'll say like, I'm sorry, I've been, you know, kind of withdrawn or whatever it is. And I say, hey, you do what you need to do. And so I'm going to let you come to me when you need some help with your business or when you have moments to work your business. And I'm not giving up on you, but I am also not going to put pressure on you in a time that you're going through. You know, I will tell you, they don't stop. They come to you. They're like, it's like this, all of a sudden, it's like, I don't know, they just do, you guys. So I just want to teach you some of those things and some of the tips and tricks that I've just learned, okay? Let me see. This was really good. So these are some of the things from the Diamond Plus Zoom, and Vanessa was on that. Bree was, Lisa was, and so they can probably even share some of that with you. I thought this was so good. But you want the calm within the good storm. And I think that's so true. And something that was really good, you guys, is that for us to go Ambassador 2.0, I know that I cannot lead a team that large by myself, nor do I want to. I just don't. I don't. That's not where it's fun. Who wants to be at the top by themselves? That's freaking weird. Okay. But here's the thing is that we can all do a little bit, and that can make a huge impact. And people will feel supported. They will feel loved. They will have more than enough resources. And so we can all kind of do that. And the thing is that goes, good leadership is also one of those things like to follow through, you will have to say no to things, or you might have to change things up. Like Vanessa, this is a very good example. Like the other day, she was like, you guys, like all of a sudden sports, my kids are on Wednesdays, all 3 of them have something. Like I literally, as much as I want to do that, I can't. You guys, she can. That's okay. That doesn't mean she can't lead and do some other things. And that's the thing. Would you rather say no to something knowing that you can't follow through with it, and then be able to say yes to the other things that you can do very, very well? Like, yeah, that's what we want to do. So again, even as you as a leader, you don't have to be on providing something every single day. You do not. I tell my new girls, I'm going to help you for the first like 10 to 14 days with giving some content, but I'm also going to show you where to grab content from. I'm also going to show you where to save content from. I'm going to show you how to do these things. And eventually you're going to come up with some of those things by just using some of these bullet points. You guys, we do not have to provide posts and stories to people for 45, 60 days. That is not leadership. That is building somebody's business for them. That is building another business. So you better be getting another check. Like that's how I feel about that. Okay. So I put that thought there. So stop putting random pressures on yourself. That is not leadership. It's just not. And it's not going to build a lasting business. It's not going to build the groundwork that you need and the foundation you need. It's not going to truly help them at the end. It's stressing you out. Don't do it. It's not needed. That's the crazy thing. We like go into this stuff, okay? Follow through. Let me see. Oh, I thought this was good. So when they talk about it, you need to have your vision, which we've talked about. We talked about that last time, right? When we were on here about our visions, like what we were looking for. You have to have short term, you have to have long term. Think of what a good leader is or who you want to be known as. What does that look like and how can you be that and work on that? But this was really good. And this is something that I think every single one of you could say and use. This is my vision. You are all invited, but whether you come or not is completely up to you. The other thing that still holds true to this day is you are going to offer things and there are going to be people that never take it. And they might work and they might say they want these things and blah, 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 blah. Guess what? You have got to just be focused on who shows up. That's the truth. So when I get on a Zoom, I don't scan to see who's not on. I just don't. That's their decision. But what I can do as a leader is I know that I said that I'm going to hold a Zoom and my butt is going to be there. And I'm going to be ready to pour into people. I'm going to have an agenda because I don't want to waste anybody's freaking time. And that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to focus on who's here. And you know what? Tomorrow, it might be different people that show up or the next day or whoever. Work with who is showing up and working with you. Okay. And that was the one thing she said too, you know, and everyone feels this. They said, when certain people that you in your mind that were going to be your main people in your business or the people that you want to show up, don't show up or quit. It's like you let them take your vision with them and you stop showing up yourself. Why? Your vision was not to go to the trash. Like your vision was to go this way. So show up with the people who are showing up. I promise you, it is going to be people that you didn't foresee. Like it is. And that's the cool thing. I think it's freaking awesome. I didn't even know Lisa. I didn't even know Bree before this business. Actually, let me see. Lindsay. I knew Lindsay. I knew Lindsay before this business. Everyone else, I talk to these people every freaking day. Love them to my core. And literally, I would not know. Some of them have been brought in by other leaders whose team wasn't working. We be working. We're working. They had team working. But they refused because the people that they saw or wanted or thought were going to be their workers were not. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. That is like the biggest mistake ever, okay? So that was something that they shared. This was something that I thought was really good. This comes into leadership as well, but your schedule has to work for you, and it has to work for you and your busy schedule. So you guys, here's the thing. If you know, Erica, that your new girl is like, you know, like you don't have to try to do it at their time. You just kind of have to keep moving times until you both come up with a time. But seriously, you guys, do not agree to things that don't work out for you. Yes, you will have to move things around and you want to. Like that's the thing. If you want this to work, yeah. And I think I'm going to share actually one quote before we end tonight, but and I just think it's so freaking good. And it talks just about, it's not like a sacrifice. It's actually an investment, and it's cool just how it's worded. But anyways, the thing is though, is don't keep signing yourself up for like to do a Zoom or to, you know, squeeze things in when you know, like 45 minutes before you're supposed to be leaving to work. Or you know, like you're not giving yourself time for like the unexpected things with kids or here or there, and then you're stressing out. That's when you start building a business and it's stress and it's not fun. Like know where you're at, give yourself a little time to plan, make sure that the time works for you so you can be all in when you're doing it, okay? You don't have to do everything. That's like, and I say that because I don't want you to be scared of leadership, because it's not scary. But it is scary when you're trying to do it just all on your own and you have these expectations that are just actually like Superman can't do. So there's that, okay? Oh, this was good. This is one of my last ones, and then I'll tell you my thing. So many times we hear, how many times you can put a little one in the chat, or you can just raise your little hand, that people are like, I don't know, I'm just not motivated, or like I literally, that is like nails on a chalkboard to me, okay? So I'm like, oh, okay, you know, and I'm like, well, what motivates you to go into your job every day that you hate? Like, it's money, right? I'm sure it's money. That's why they're going there. But anyways, here's the funny thing. So it's so funny because we always think it's supposed to be like, I'm supposed to be so motivated. And because I'm so motivated, I'm going to start taking massive action. And because I start taking massive action because I'm motivated, I'm going to get momentum and I am going to promote. So let me tell you something. That's a lot. And it was so good because I was just talking about motivation the other day when somebody was like, I'm just not motivated. I was like, okay. Well, if your goals don't motivate you, I'm going to tell you where motivation comes from. And you guys hear me talk about small wins all the freaking time, all the time. I also say, if you've been checked out, like, you don't get to make a decision if something's not working at least for 2 weeks with consistently doing something. Okay. So that's like kind of my rule of thumb always. But really what happens is you have to move first, which starts getting you momentum, which gets you the wins, which you start seeing these things are all working together. And because you're getting the wins, you want to show up again the next day and the next day and the next day. And now your team's getting wins. And guess what? Now you have momentum. You have got to move your freaking feet. Okay? You have to move your feet. Motivation goes out the drain when you are sitting still. That's the truth. Or you're going through the motions. You think people don't know? They do. They do. I promise you. I promise you. There are days that maybe I'm not as crazy on my stories, but I am in their voice messaging and I'm doing all those things. And guess what? It doesn't look to them like I'm not excited about my business. I am excited. I just messaged 30 some people voice messages telling them to join me. You know what I'm saying? So, but that person that just only was in their stories but did nothing else, you guys, like, people can see through that. Like, they know. You know what I'm saying? So they understand that. So just remember, it's move first, you gain momentum, and as you gain momentum, you find that motivation. All right? I think that's so cool. It was said just so perfectly, so simple. Again, it's not like all over the place. And just knowing, you guys, that you need to just cut the cords of things that hold you back. And a lot of it is just a lack of belief or a negative belief that you don't have what it takes, or that your schedule isn't the perfect schedule, or again, like, just how you may have the people that you want in your business to move, but they're not. And like, then you're kind of forgetting about the people who are. P.S. Yvette is somebody that Lisa found that was moving way freaking down. And I'll never forget Lisa like messaging me and being like, holy crap, this girl Yvette is like enrolling like a boss and I don't even know who brought her in. And I was like, oh my Lanta. And look at now, like, you would think that Yvette is Lisa's. I mean, she is now, but it's funny just even to think about that. But the thing is it goes the same way, you guys, even with our new people. So many times you want the person who is never going to cheer you on or be like your number one cheerleader, and you're waiting for them to see your vision, which is your vision. It's not theirs, okay? You can't be upset about that. You were called to it for a reason. But the thing is they wait and wait and wait. You guys, it's not going to happen. But you have all these people that are sitting right here who freaking believe in you. Why is that not good enough? You believe in yourself. We believe in you. Freaking go with it, right? If you have somebody else's person that wants to run, freaking run with them. Who cares? Maybe that's what that person served in your business at that time. And you have maybe had a grander vision for her, and that is nice of you, because I am that person that has a really big vision for a lot of people, but that's not their vision. But I sure as heck am not going to miss the person that's hungry. And you guys, I do. I reach out, and when I tell people, like, when they add new people, I get in chats with those people, because I don't want the person whose mentor has quit, has nobody, and they could be a rock star, and then they go join somebody else later on because they didn't know who to go to. No, they're going to know who to go to. Like, I'm here. So you have to make sure that your team knows you. I can tell you, every single person on my ambassador chart knew who I was, whether I enrolled them or not. If I was working with them, they knew me. They knew I was there. Like, they knew. So, and they should know. They should know Erica's there. They should know Sarah's here. They should know one of us is here. We may not be here all the time together, but one of us is here for them, right? Let them know their people. And then this is the last thing I'm going to say. This is the other thing that I thought was super cool. But, they said so many times you're like, oh my gosh, I need this loyal customer, or I just need somebody to say yes today or whatever. And they're like, just saying how that is such a fear-driven belief that you have in your business. But when you're like, I want this person to come into my business, or today my goal is to have this type of person be welcomed into my business, then you are building your business off of faith. And I promise you, you will just get so much bigger results. Like, get out of that fear building mindset. Okay. So this is super cool. I love this. I hope that you guys love it. Oh, wait, where is this? This is one of my favorite chapters of this book. Okay. So as we push and as we focus and as we decide to use some of our time to go to things like our goals and what we really want long-term in life, I love how this is put. It says, do not think of this time as a time of sacrifice, because when you sacrifice something, you do not get it back. Rather, think of it as a season of investing, because when you invest well, there will always be a return. Like, can we get a freaking amen? Like, it was just so, so good. So I'll just read it one more time. Do not think of this time as a time of sacrifice, which you guys, we hear that all the time. Like, you have to sacrifice this. You have to sacrifice this. You have to, no, I have to invest this time, because what's going to end up happening is, yes, I did invest time to get on a Zoom, which was away from my kids, or to pour into myself so that I could become the next triple diamond leader or whatever it is. But guess what, you guys? What was my return? I'm a stay-at-home mom now. I just didn't want to work extra shifts. Like, that's not a sacrifice. I invested and my return was so much grander, right? So do not think of this time as a time of sacrifice, because when you sacrifice something, you do not get it back. Rather, think of it as a season of investing, because when you invest well, there will always be a return. So, so good. Okay. You guys, do you have questions? I actually am better on time than I even thought I was. I feel like we covered a lot of groundwork, but if you guys have questions or things that you're like, I just need help on this, or you want some suggestions from people who, because all these people here are working, put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. Like, you don't have to be quiet. But I am so ready to rock this month. And I, from here, I like to give you guys stuff that you can bring back to your teams. And I know Vanessa did that and with her team, and she was like, oh, they loved it. They loved it. And you guys, that's what you should do. They want to hear from you. They joined you. They want to hear from you. And yes, they love to hear from other people. And the thing that I thought was so cool too was like, amongst us, like, if you know somebody's kicking butt in your business, like, tell your team, and when you go to do your team Zoom with them and you break down legs, you guys do one-on-one. Like, know people's maps. We have like maps where we know like when people are connected, right? So it's like, here's Megan, here's Melissa, here's Erica, here's Megan. Like, this all goes together. I love grouping my legs together. And if you can hop on a Zoom, or if you're in a chat together, or wherever it is that you can make it work, but have all those people communicating, I think is so good. The other thing is you guys, seriously, I'm going to ask you to do this of me. I want you to ask your distributors, your executive leaders, your Ruby leaders. I want you to ask this of them for you. But like, if you have people killing it, please tell us. Like, we would love to go in there and just say, like, we're freaking proud of you. Like, we see what you're doing. Like, Bree just freaking told me that you signed 10 loyal customers, or so-and-so did this. And it was so good because, you know, when we're up here, some people, they were talking about, like, it feels good when corporate acknowledges you. You guys, we are our corporate for our team. Like, I remember getting messages from upline that I didn't even know. And I was like, how does that person even know me? You know, but it feels good. Like, recognition just goes so far. So let's recognize good, like, awesome building behavior, positivity, people who are overcoming things. Like, we want to hear that. Like, we want to shout those people out and know, like, hey, we see you. That is freaking amazing. And it doesn't need to just come from you. Let it come from so many people. Like, how fun. I would love to wake up for people to be like, hey, can you go give my girl like a hoorah message, instead of being like, I'm not motivated. Like, oh my God. Okay. You know, I get it. Pick up a book. Go back and watch Monday Night's Call. Like, reset your goals. You know, we all have those days, and they just don't let them go longer than a day or a two, or honestly, half the time people think it's the business when really it's crap in their life. And I will tell you, I've seen that so many times. They get rid of the business because that was the stress, get their stress stays. And then guess what? They actually come back to their business. It's not the business. It's the stress of other things. So you just have to be able to recognize those things, okay? So I love you guys. If you don't have anything or want to address anything or have things that you want help with, we can hop off and rock out September. I am so excited for it. Seriously. So excited. All right. Bye, Vanessa. Oh, book. Okay, sorry. I'm so bad. I am reading the chats. This is from Sherry Lynn's book. This was from, this is my favorite chapter. Where's my phone? Okay. So this is the other thing I do. And again, everybody can do things how they want, but I love going chapter by chapter in any book that I'm reading, and I keep them in notes. And I like pull the things. And it's funny because Bree and I could probably read the same book. Lisa and we could all three read the same book. All of us could read the same book. We're all going to pull different things from stuff. And that's the really cool thing. But this is from Sherry Lynn's book, and this is the chapter called You Can Work for It. It was like my favorite chapter of all time. And it has so many, you guys. Let me see. Yeah, there's so many good ones. So if you haven't gotten her book yet, it's definitely a good read for sure. Brie, actually, you're reading it. I don't even know what chapter you're on. You're welcome. Good night. Oh yeah, I'm recording.